recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank the ranking member and thank our witnesses for being here today. And I want to, again, echo my amazing opportunity to bump into H- there in Poland and see your previous unit that you commanded and a unit that I commanded. I'll tell you, they're doing fantastic work, and so is Kevin Sharp, the brigade from the 101st. They're just doing outstanding stuff. Brief comment, 4% raise for troops in an 8% inflation environment isn't a raise. I wish we could rethink that, and certainly I'm sure there'll be amendments that address it. Also on the top line number, 4% in an 8% inflation is really a cut. Just want to make that comment. Mr. McCord, a quick comment for you. I saw a statement that you had made. The budget was written prior to the Ukrainian invasion and could not be adjusted to include that. I want to tell you that and I'm talking specifically about making adjustments due to what's going on in Ukraine. There's not a company in America where the board of directors would allow the CEO to say that. The speed of business is the speed of now. And the Pentagon's got to move at the speed of business, the speed of now. And so, in the few weeks that this thing's been going on, I would think that the adjustments could be made. Secretary Austin, quick question for you. Who is advising the president that it's a good idea to allow the war criminals in Russia to build a nuclear reactor for Iran? In the JCPOA, the current negotiations would allow Russia to build a nuclear reactor to the tune of $10 billion. These are the guys that, have done these horrible things in Ukraine, and we're here letting them, at least right now, considering letting them build a nuclear reactor there.
Well, there are a number of people that are leading that process. Of course, our national security advisor, plus, as you know, the State Department is leading the
let me ask you, is there somebody at DOD saying that's a good idea? Do you think it's a good idea?
No, I have not provided any counsel to the president on building.
I would ask you to do that. I think it's a really bad idea. I want to talk legacy systems, General Milley, with you, if it's okay. We've had discussions before about phasing out legacy systems, bringing in new systems with the capability to overcome those and amplify on them. I'm a little concerned about JSTARS. We Army guys, we love that program. It helps us, and there's, I guess, talk in this budget of the Air Force wanting to get rid of JSTARS. I'd love to hear your thoughts on, and maybe we have to go into a classified setting, is there going to be a capability gap if that thing goes away?
Well, first, like you, JSTAR is a great system, but this budget and the National Defense Strategy is optimizing for the pacing threat, the most significant strategic challenge to the United States, China, and then the acute challenge or the acute threat, which is Russia. JSTARS is not a survivable aircraft in that type of environment against that high-end threat. So that's point one. Point two, in terms of the capability that JSTARS does bring, which is the ability to battle track movements, et cetera, on the ground. I'm sorry.
Targeting, too.
Targeting,
right?
that's right. And that capability will exist in a different form and from a different platform, but for that I'd have to take it to a different session.
So there's no capability loss with that, with JSTARS going away?
I don't know, no significant capability loss relative to China and Russia. If you wanted to use JSTARS in a lower intensity environment, then there would be, because the JSTARS would be going away. But we're optimizing for China than Russia.
I may then ask for that classified discussion so we can kind of go into that. One quick thought about this legacy fall off and the implementation of the new systems that are 5-6 years out. I know Congressman Whitman has talked about this challenge. I'm aware that there's this strategic deterrence fund that hasn't been used for years. I'd love to get some details on that if y'all have it, because we could protect the guys across the aisle who don't necessarily want to see massive increases in the budget. We could fund some of the R&D for these new projects through that, and it would be similar to the way we did the OCO, and sort of put money over there to I would ask that be considered. And even speaking to some of my Democrat colleagues, they think that'd be a great idea about future systems so that we can maintain the capabilities in that gap period. Keep legacy systems around long enough, afford them in the current budget, and pay for the new systems in a different strategic fund. And if you could look into that and get back with my office, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentleman's time has expired. Ms. Escobar is